hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Wild Your Garden. And in this video I've travelled to my local woods, which are Bourne Woods in the south of Lincolnshire, where I want to talk to you about possibly the most iconic British wildflower, and that is of course these absolutely glorious bluebells. Now, it is believed that up to 50% of the world's population of bluebells are found in the UK, so what a privilege it is to have sites like this. And what I absolutely love about these wildflowers is, of course, when you get down, they just create this magnificent blue haze, or purpley blue haze. Obviously, I'll put clips throughout the video of these wonderful wildflowers. Now, the bluebell is actually, unfortunately, under threat from the Spanish bluebell, which has been in coexistence in the UK for many, many years now. And actually, the problem is that it hybridizes with the native bluebell, and of course over time that gene pool is sort of weakened and diluted, so eventually we lose our native bluebells, which of course, especially with the loss of habitat, they absolutely need a specific kind of habitat, which is this lovely kind of semi-dappled shade in this mixed deciduous woodland here. They need this kind of a habitat to thrive. So, and of course with the loss of so many of our ancient woodlands over the last couple of centuries, it's meant that it's put a massive dent in bluebell populations. And of course that alongside the introduction of the Spanish bluebell has meant that with the hybridization from plants that we may put in our borders, in our gardens, because most of these plants spread by seed, they can split their bulbs as well and spread that way, but most of the time it's by seed. So it puts the bluebells under a lot of threat from the previously mentioned points I've just made, which means that obviously we are slowly losing our bluebells, which is such a shame because they are an incredible plant and one that are vital for spring insects, particularly butterflies and bees, where even my favourite orange tip butterfly nectar on this wonderful wildflower, along with many other species such as brimstone, speckled wood, and the white species as well that we get in here in the UK and the Northern Hemisphere. So bluebells really are an important and vital resource, and for bees as well, which sometimes bypass the nectar and pollen available by actually cutting a little hole in the side of the flower and going straight to the nectar. A bit of a cheating way of doing it, but yes, that's one thing they do. So of course, and the one thing that I learnt about the bluebells when doing my research for this video is actually the seeds can take up to 5 years to develop into a bulb, which is just an incredible amount of time. Hence, they are an absolute indicator of ancient woodland and one that should be protected. Now, unfortunately, in this wood, there are many, many green dots on a lot of these trees, and I've been fighting hard and contacting the Woodland Trust, but especially the Forestry Commission who own this woodland, to try and stop them, because a lot of the trees in here have been marked up with green dots, as I say, including this one next to me. Which means they are due to be felled. Now, they were due to be felled this spring, but good news is they've now stopped, hopefully in this area, until the autumn. But my concern is still that then we are going to lose so much of this precious habitat, and mixing with these gorgeous wood anemones makes an absolute picture at this time of year. Now, bluebells, of course, being an ancient indicator of woodland and seeing that they spread so slowly, it is not rare these days, but it's getting less common to find this kind of purple blue haze, which we see behind me here. And I'll put clips in, obviously, of this all through the video, because you just cannot beat them at this time of year. They are an iconic wildflower here in the UK, possibly our native wildflower. Could I go as far as saying that? I think possibly so. And they are an absolutely wonderful plant, which obviously will grow very well in a shady spot. So if you are looking to buy some, we do have them for sale on the Wild Your Garden website. But they are something that should be protected, I think, because they are our heritage. They are, a very specific wildflower that, as I say, exists within this very specific habitat, this mixed broadleaf woodland with a kind of semi-open canopy. They don't do well in full shade or complete dense shade. So again, another reason for us to protect this precious habitat and to make sure we preserve these habitats, because what would English native woodlands be without the birdsong you can hear behind me and without this blue haze at this time of year. So of course they will start flowering from sort of early April. It's now the middle of April, so they are kind of reaching their peak. They are getting towards looking their absolute best. So because I'm working away all around the country, a lot of the time I don't often get a chance to come and visit these woods, which are a very special wood to me. And today I've actually had my first nightingale singing in the sort of near the car park area, so I'm very, very chuffed with that discovery. It was one that I was on the way to film this video for you guys, and I just heard a sort of a weep, 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 and it just iconic British springtime species. Of course, they're flown all the way from Africa. Check out the video, I'll put in a link at the end of this one on the nightingale that I discovered. Just absolutely heartwarming to hear those again in this woodland. I've not heard them for 20 years in this wood, and it's certainly something that I treasure hearing now and again when I do hear them. They have been present for a little while, but yeah, they are mostly recorded each year, but do check out that video, as I say. But back to the bluebells, I just hope I hope this video goes some way to doing these amazing wildflowers justice, because they are just gorgeous. I can't think of a more iconic image, I don't think, than a blue purple haze of bluebells through an English woodland in the spring. It is just incredible, and with the wood anemones that are in here as well, it's just fantastic to see. It's as far as the eye can see as well. So yes, they spread very slowly, so to create a carpet like this there could be tens and tens and tens of thousands, maybe even several 100,000 bluebells through this part of the woods. So again, quite why the Forestry Commission feel it necessary to come through here with 20-ton machines when laden with timber, and put massive roots through this lot, which of course the bluebells will never recover from fully, with all the brash that's squashed on top of them. It's beyond me, and I'm just glad in a way that I'm able to document this wonderful spectacle before these works are carried out, if indeed they are. I am trying my best, and of course if you want to help, then please do check out the links at the end of this video for who you can contact and raise your concerns with, because you know, we can't keep going round and just squashing and eradicating these precious bluebells that take so long to establish, even when they're trampled on in a woodland by people walking through. And you know, I am on the edge of them here, don't worry, I'm in a little patch crouched down where it's a little clear area, but other than that, you know, when people walk through and they squash even the leaves, it then really weakens the bluebells, because they can't then obviously photosynthesize to produce the flowers, to then produce the nectar and pollen to then spread, of course, and increase these wonderful, wonderful habitats. So yes, I hope that's given you some inspiration, if nothing else, and some ideas as to what. I'm not suggesting you have a woodland like this in your own garden, but you can of course plant them in your own garden, but please, as I say, if you are going to buy some, please make sure you buy the native version, or the native variety, rather than the Spanish varieties, which you can distinguish because they are quite a bit taller, not 2 foot tall, but they're quite a bit taller, much thicker leaf as well, really bushy leafy plant, and just a generally sort of beefed up version of the bluebell. So yes, I'm absolutely thrilled to have this on my doorstep. I really hope you can get out at this time of year and see a spectacle like this, because it really is something to behold. And yes, I'll put a few clips in now, obviously, of the bluebells through this wood, some better angles so you can appreciate them. And thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, give the video a like, and I'll be sure to bring you many more videos on all the ways in which you can help wildlife in videos to come. Thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.